What's going on, everybody? It's Eagle here, and welcome to a brand new hardcore Minecraft series. The most recent trend has been the Minecraft Forever world, and I have always wanted one for myself. So in this video, we're going to make a fantastic start to that, building this beautiful starter base. If you guys enjoy, please make sure to like and subscribe, as it helps out so much. I am trying to get to 2,000 subscribers, so subscribe. But without any further ado, this is the start to the hardcore Minecraft world I have always wanted. Alright, what's going on, everybody? It's Eagle, and welcome back to Hardcore Minecraft. As you can see, we are in a brand new world, which I put in a completely random seed, and the spawn is beautiful. I mean, look at it. We can already see there's mountains up there, and around this area, there's a bunch of plains areas. But, we already know what we have to do first. Punch tree. If this is your first time seeing me, I am Eagle, and I am a Minecraft YouTuber. Just gonna start by making a pickaxe. Mine up 3 stone. Create a stone pickaxe. Alright, now we've got 64 stone, and now let's make a full set of stone tools. Just gather a little bit of wood. And dude, look at these flowers. Seems we've spawned in a flower forest, and I think that is awesome. Let's come over here and grab some of this coal. Only 2, alright. If we want to survive this hardcore world, we're gonna have to get some food, and that starts with you, Mr. Chicken. Also, now we know there's a beehive here. That's great. Ooh, look at this mountain. Ooh, powdered snow. Have to avoid that. I guess it's pretty useful. We can find a lot of cool stuff up here. Ooh, look at that. I want to head over there. But first, let's see if we can find any more extra coal and iron. Whoa, that is a deep hole. Ooh, look at that big old plains biome. That looks so good. Also, I see some sunflowers over there. Ooh, look at this big old cave. That's so cool. Alright, it's about to get dark, so let's start smelting up some of our iron. Alright, we're throwing down our old tools into the pit of despair. Actually, they didn't fall too far. Okay, I just had to hop into free camp for a second here because look at this. Look at how freaking big this cave is. I mean, this is an awesome cave that I'd want to build in. Like, I mean, this is beautiful. Also, why are there so many creepers right there? But let's get out of there because our iron is finished smelting up and I want to go and explore. But alright, let's head out and look, and oh my gosh, this place is beautiful. Look over there. I mean, there's a village too. Ladies and gentlemen, we haven't been exploring very much, but I think this might be the place where we settle down. But first, I do need some food, so... Alright, Mr. Cow. Sorry, buddies, but we needed that 12 steak. Alright, now we've got a pretty decent amount of food. Ooh, there's another village off in the distance. Alright, but we can't get too ahead of ourselves. First, we have to get these cows. Hello, Mr. Villager. I'm taking all of your food. Hey, Mr. Villager, I'm taking your stone cutter. That's a lot of apples. Taking your brewing stand. All of you guys' crops are clutch. Thank you. Ooh, look over there. Kind of almost forgot I need a bed. Then I headed over to the village that we saw earlier. Alright, let's go to sleep. This is an awesome view. Don't worry, guys, I'll return. Oh, there's also dark oak over there. Whoa, this is a beautiful area. This might have to be where we settle down. Alright, I've decided that this is where we are going to call home. So let's set down the furnace and the crafting table. Let's make a little chest right here. Empty out our whole inventory. After settling down, I went out to the dark oak forest biome and also the jungle biome to get some saplings. I also ended up finding some melons, cocoa beans, and bamboo. Alright guys, so I need to go over to the village to grab those spruce trees, and I was thinking we should make an iron farm. Because in my most recent 100 days video, it ended up being one of the best things I've ever done to start a world. So let me go get some materials and hit the time lapse. And alright guys, the iron farm is finished and you can see it's already working. That honestly took a little bit too long for it to be a day 1 iron farm, but I'm not complaining. We do actually have a zombie villager in here just in case we need it for any reason. But yeah, you saw the shenanigans in the time lapse. And I see a lot of golems spawning, which is great. Check the chest again. 7 more iron. Let's go. But now that we have our iron farm set up, there's a little area that needs some terraforming. So let's pop into free cam here for just a second. And I wanted to show you guys this little area down here. I want to make a flattened out area that can easily be accessible and that can hold a lot of basic farms. I want to plant stuff like trees, fields, even get some animals in some pens. But first, you can kind of see that this area looks a little bit strange. But I want to fix that by terraforming and flattening out this entire area, which is going to take a lot of dirt and grass. So this might be a little bit of a big project, but you know, I'm always down for some terraforming. So let's hit the first time lapse of the video and terraform that area. Let's go. And alright guys, we have finished flattening out this area down here. Come under, you can see how I had to get a bunch of dirt from under here, but I mean, we did it and it looks good, so we're good. But now that we have this area where we can do pretty much anything we want, I think that we should start by placing down some trees. And alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have planted the field and also our sugarcane and the bamboo, if you can see it right there. I promise you this is all temporary. If you know me, I'm a builder. I love aesthetic. This is not aesthetic in any means at all, so I'm going to be fixing this at some point. But this is just for the beginning times, just so I can, you know, gather up a lot of materials. But now I want to do one more thing in this area right here, and that is to gather up a bunch of animals and some pens, just so that we can have them and don't have to get them later. And alright guys, we have all of our animals into their pens, including chickens, cows, sheep, and pigs. I'm going to be trying my best to breed these up as often as possible because I'll be doing other stuff. But now what's on my agenda is I want to go and get some acacia wood, but also see if we can get some other types of woods. Because right now we have spruce. Oh, what the heck? I didn't even see those over there. That's like the third group that spawned in recently. But anyways, we have spruce, jungle, oak, dark oak, and birchwood, but there's a few others that are missing. So without any further ado, let's go on a little journey and gather up as many as we can. So we went out on a journey mainly to find some acacia wood, but we also ended up finding some cherry wood as well. All right, we've made it back with the stuff that we needed, and I'm thinking now it is time to go down into the depths and do a little bit of mining, because I think that would be nice if we could get up to level 30 per chance, because I do need silk touch to gather up some mushroom stem for the starter base, so we need to do a lot of stuff before we get anywhere close to doing that. After doing all that mining, we came across a skeleton spawner that we might come back to in the future. Alright, after a long session of mining, I decided we should check our iron farm, and that is a lot of iron, so if you guys wanted to know how long I was down there for, that I guess shows how long we were down there for. But there are two pretty massive things that I ended up finding down there. When we went down into the caves, we also found a skeleton spawner. And let me hop into free cam here, because if you come just over the hill and follow this trail of torches, you can see that straight down from right here, that is where the skeleton spawner is. So definitely I'm going to want to go and get that into an XP farm, because that'd be super useful. But in terms of what we found, let's check this chest. We got 9 diamonds, a bunch of lapis, a bunch of copper, which is going to be used in our starter base, a bunch of redstone, iron, some gold. We also found some iron horse armor and stuff, which would be awesome to have a horse like you, buddy, but I can't find any saddles anywhere. But I'm thinking let's take 3 diamonds and create our first diamond pickaxe of the series. We're already level 26, but we are lacking on sugarcane and cows. So there's going to be a little bit more grinding before we actually level up enough to be able to enchant. But as long as we keep breeding these dudes up, I'm sure we'll be fine. Let's also expand our sugarcane farm a little bit. And I think that we should come over here and harvest up our field. Alright, so we have just finished farming this field right here, and I think that it is time to just go over here and harvest up all these trees and replant them and, you know, keep that cycle going for a little while. While I'm doing that, I want to be trying my best to breed the animals as well because I want to have an enchantment set up soon, and the sugarcane is growing pretty slow as well. So yeah, I guess let's hit another time lapse and chop down all these trees. And alright guys, we have been chopping down trees for I'd say an hour and a half, probably 2 hours or so. And this is how much wood that we have been able to acquire. That is a good amount. I don't think any birch tree spawned, which was kind of weird, but I don't know. I moved the cobblestone layer above because I assume that's probably what it was. But they're still not growing, so I'm not sure. But in the time lapse, you could have seen that we were also breeding up the cows and sheep a lot. And I'd say our cow supply is coming in real good. Let's harvest up the sugarcane real quick. And I'm also thinking we should harvest up our field again. Alright, now that we are done harvesting and replanting our field, I think we should breed our animals one more time before we take them out. They're so loud, oh my gosh. Alright guys, it's time to go. Alright, now there are just a bunch of children left. Sorry guys. And we didn't even get enough leather, I don't even think. Oh my gosh. The sheep, I'll let you guys stay. Because I might need you guys for some light gray wool. You guys you have a happy life. And you chickens, keep laying eggs please. Oh, we have enough leather, that's good. We're just waiting on sugarcane, and once we get that, we'll need a little bit of obsidian and we'll be good. I'm debating whether or not I should take these guys out because they're lagging my game really bad. But there's a little terraforming project that I want to do around here, and I'm gonna need a lot of different stones. So let's go back into that big cave that we found earlier and gather a bunch of it. But first, I'm kind of really curious to see how much iron we have. Alright, the farm still seems to be working pretty well, so let's see how much we have. Jeez, that's a lot of iron. Now do you guys see why I did it in the first episode? Oh my gosh, it's so useful. We're on day 33 too. But anyways, let's go. Hey, are you subscribed? I am on a mission to get 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you guys want to support your boy out, make sure you go down there and press that subscribe button. While you're down there, like the video too. It helps me out so much, and I'm thankful for every single one of you guys. But with that being said, let's get back into the video. And alright guys, we have returned from our little mining session, and we ended up getting a bunch of tuff and andesite, also some cobblestone. And my plan is to do a little bit of terraforming down here to make the transition from up here to down there just a little bit smoother. So let's hit another time lapse and do a little terraforming because it's going to bring this area together super well. Alright, so we have finally finished this big terraforming session, and I'm not quite sure if I like this little area over here. I might make a little bit of a slope to get up there, just so it makes it look a little bit better. But I don't know about that. But what I do want to do though is I want to take this and push it back just a little bit, just to add a little bit more detail. Alright, but I do think that since we have enough sugarcane now, that it is time to start an enchantment setup. So first, let's mine up all of this lava right here. Alright guys, so 4 lava buckets and 32 obsidian later, we finally have enough stuff to create our enchantment setup. And let's create an enchantment table. Now let's take these books and create bookshelves out of them. 15 bookshelves, pretty nice. And I have absolutely no idea where to put this, so let's just put it right here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now let's place an enchantment table, and now we have a full level 30 enchantment. Fortune 2. I'm not doing that. Alright, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I also downloaded a mod. It makes stuff pop up a little bit. think it's pretty cool. Been waiting for it to download for a little while, so it's nice. I think we should breed up our animals real quick, just to get that 34th level. Hello, guys. Alright, and that is level 34. We're gonna have to take out these guys pretty soon as well, and also harvest up this field. Now that we have that 34th level, let's just come over here and just enchant a sword. It's just a little dull enchant. Sharpness 1, alright, it helps. But let's look at Fortune 3, possibly? Unbreaking 3, I'm probably gonna have to take that risk. Unless our axe has Silk Touch, which I don't think it does. But let's put this in there and... Ooh, but our axe does have Silk Touch, so I think that we're going to have to get this. Silk Touch efficiency 4, Unbreaking 3, perfect. So I'm not really bummed about the pickaxe at all because Silk Touch is really all I was looking for. Now we can gather up all of the Silk Touch things that we need for our starter base. One thing I really want to do though is make a diamond shovel and hopefully get a good enchant on that. Obviously we don't have enough levels right now, but I just want to check to see if we get full efficiency 4. Silk Touch, ooh, I like that. So I'm thinking we should breed up our cows one more time and take a bunch of them out. Also, we should harvest up this field right here. So let's do it. Alright, so we have just thinned down the population a little bit, and I think that we have enough levels to enchant our shovel. But the question is, should we try to go for Silk Touch and hope for efficiency 4, or what? Alright, so let's try this shovel out, and hopefully we can get efficiency 4. Let's go! That's gotta be the luckiest thing that we've gotten so far. That is going to make terraforming this area 1,000 times easier. So with that monumental thing, I think we should initiate a little bit of another terraforming time lapse and really finish off this area to build our starter base. And alright guys, we are finally finished with flattening out this entire area. And I'm thinking we're going to put the starter base right here. I was thinking of putting on the hill before, but it's just kind of too small and it doesn't really fit the area that much. So the starter base is going to go right here. And before we gather up materials for it, I actually want to finish chopping down all of the trees over here just so that we can get rid of this eyesore. But right before we did that, we enchanted this axe with efficiency 4. And alright guys, the area is finally finished getting cleaned up. We removed all the trees that were planted and also this field right here. And I've been trying my best to thin down this over here because at one point I was getting like 15 FPS whenever I looked in this direction. So I kind of had to clear up a bunch of those animals. But the only thing I have left over here is sugarcane and a little template if I want to grow any more trees. I have it like this just so that the podzol doesn't spread. And now that I think about it, I should kind of light up this area because it's not lit up anymore. But I have gotten over 33 levels, so I think we should try to enchant our diamond pickaxe with a little bit of a better enchant. Efficiency 4 and breaking 3, yeah, it's alright. I really want fortune though, so I'm going to come and see if there is an iron pickaxe I can enchant. Alright, new iron pickaxe acquired. Please give us fortune 3, and it's the same thing. Ugh, guess we have a decent pickaxe back here. But we've spent a lot of time over here, and I'm super curious to see how much iron we have. Alright, let's check and see. That's a lot. Let's take all of this home and also all of these flowers. I think we have iron for pretty much the rest of the series. But we have been grinding for a long time and I think I need a little bit of a building break. So I think that means going out and gathering up all of the rest of the materials I need for our starter base. So let's do that right now.
2,000 years later.
And alright guys, after a couple hours of gathering materials, this is everything that we need to build up the starter base of Hardcore Season 2. So without any further ado, let's hop into the time lapse and build this base up. And alright guys, that right there is a pretty awesome starter base. I just realized I missed a sign right there though. I'd say pretty much the only things that we need to do is go to these planter boxes and add a couple of flowers and greenery, but also go inside and add the interior. I'm thinking we should take a couple of dark oak saplings, some cornflowers, oxeye daisies, alliums of course, poppies, lily of the valleys, and even pink petals. Now that I think about it, I also want to go and add some lanterns around the entire area, so let's create a bunch of torches and lanterns. Alright y'all, I do think that is a finished build now. I went around, added some lanterns, but also I filled out all of the flower boxes, which I think it looks super awesome now. There's so much color. And also I love how the copper grates are sort of starting to oxidize now too, so they're starting to add even more color. I'm excited about the inside though because there's just so much space in here. So why don't we get started on an interior, shall we? And alright guys, we have been doing a lot of work. Opening the door, we come in and see our 2 illager banners. Then to the right, we have a little barrel storage area. I was thinking I might add some tables right here, but it's not really needed, so I don't know. But when you come up to this little level, we have the enchantment setup. I think it fits in perfectly with this little jet out. And when you come all the way upstairs, we have a bunch of storage on these 2 sides. And through here, we have our bed. The top layer doesn't have anything yet, so if you guys have any ideas, leave them down in the comments. Oh yeah, and also, so a lot of people like asking for my seed, and there it is. Just before anybody asks me in the comments, because that is one of the main comments that I answer. So if you guys still ask, I know you didn't watch the video. But I'm thinking the only thing we have left to do is just make a pathway in front of our house. And pretty much the only thing I want to connect it to is our path right here, because we don't know what we're putting down here yet. So I think we should get started on that right now. And alright guys, the pathway is finally finished. See, I had to grow a jungle tree there to get some vines. And that's because I added a little leaf barrier right here, and I think it adds a bunch of detail to this cliff. Having the vines and leaves hang over, I think adds a lot. We also changed this down here to a courser pathway. But I know the path was supposed to be the final thing of the video, but I think we need to do just one more thing. This area right here could really use a nice custom tree. Just a little bit too flat. So I'm just going to add a custom tree, and if anything else comes to mind, I'm probably gonna add that too. Alright guys, we made this area look 10 times better. After the time lapse, I ended up adding this little sort of hay bale sort of pile thing, and I also added a little mini wagon. Then I dotted some flowers around, and yeah. Also add this little custom wheat field over here to the side, and I think it fills up the space pretty well. When everything is all fully grown and it's all yellow, it'll look way better. But finally, the main attraction, the tree. I try to pack in as much detail as possible here, where you can look up and see the actual branches. You can also see a little spore blossom giving off those particles, and I added even a little sort of sea here, so you guys might see a couple of intros from right here. But I also added some glow berries and some hanging lanterns. But this is one of the most beautiful trees I've ever built, and I'm so extremely proud of it. Who knows, in a couple of weeks I might look back at this and think that it's bad. But yeah, this place is looking so awesome. But okay, the absolute final thing of the video, let's move all of our junk from out here into the starter base. And alright, so we have just finally moved all of these chests and clutter from over here into the starter base. And on day 74, I think it is time to call this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching episode 1 of the new hardcore series. The series has so much potential, and I'm so excited to see what comes of it. Also, thank you for all of the support on the 100 days video. It's doing super well right now, and if you guys wanted 200 days, like I said, let me know. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and Jesus loves you. I'll see you later. Peace.